they know until you start digging right into it.
Okay, so it's 7 o'clock and we are live. We're recording. So welcome everyone to the 919th regular meeting of Council, Township of Red Rock, February 1st, 2021, 7 p.m. Any additions to the agenda?
I believe there should be an addition under new business in regards to the SEMS. I said that right?
Yeah, yeah, EMS.
Yes, EMS.
And also if we could add the Reopening Ontario Act.
Yep.
Just maybe a COVID discussion.
Update, okay.
Any disclosure of interest?
None.
None? Okay. Presentations. So we have Limestone and partners here. So we have Tom and Jib. They're going to discuss economic development presentation on behalf of the Township of Red Rock. And we look forward to hearing from you. So Tom, your mic is on.
Sorry about that. I apologize for that. Thank you very much for that introduction. We had an opportunity since we spoke last to go through and lay out a little more of a formalized plan for you. We had always had it in our back of our head, but this will give you a little better opportunity to understand what we think can be done, who we think we can be contacting with the minute that this stuff starts, and the information and data that will need to be collected in order to present Red Rock as a place for opportunity and a place for development. So Jim and I have talked numerous times with Albert, and we continue to ask a million questions, and he gives us 2 million answers, which is good. And we're a place where we're pretty happy knowing that we're going to be able to complete everything that we're talking about and more. And I think at the end of the day, as we continue to go through 2021 with COVID, not knowing how fast or soon or quick or slow we're going to get out of this mess, it still gives us plenty of time during February, March, and April to start executing all the information that we need to do, making the contacts, and putting together the information that you have in front of you. So a lot of this information, of course, you're going to be well familiar with. And we just broke it down in some easy to digest slides, starting with why economic development consultant for us. We think we're in I guess a better position because of 2 reasons. Our expertise and history in I was going to say how old we are, but that didn't make much sense. We're a couple of guys that have been doing this for a while. And this is all about relationships. It's all about knowing who we're going to be able to go to that's going to connect and marry up with Red Rock. And having had the pleasure of being in Red Rock a number of times now and talking to a lot of different people while we did there, we're really comfortable with what we believe we know about Red Rock and what we can do there as we start this journey if we're able to move forward. So that's kind of where we are from that standpoint. Changes in the northern economy. I mean, everyone knows things are changing. With remote workers and everything that's happening in the world today, it changes the dynamic and the destination of development, but not necessarily on a bad thing, because we really do believe Red Rock is a tourist destination. And when things start coming back to life this summer and through 2022, there is going to be an enormous influx of people. We need to make sure that we do have hotels and all the services that they're going to need in order to bring them there and keep them there. And that really is our passion in order to make that happen from that perspective. As we move on to economic development opportunities, infrastructure, of course, is key and critical in that mix. Innovative and inclusive marketing campaigns is really what's going to make things work. And today it's not about picking up a booklet as you're going into the gas station because you've already driven past the destination. So the question really is what kind of traction can we make in the marketplace using social media, ad campaigns that we don't necessarily have to pay for, because we all know SEO searches, probably one of the most expensive things on the planet Earth, and the only people making money are Apple, Google, and Facebook. And I will say that publicly in front of Apple, Google, and Facebook, because I don't know a lot of businesses where it is becoming profitable for them to spend the tens of thousands of dollars that they are. So there are definitely opportunities for us to create our own agenda and to create our own traffic. And we want to really work on that and show you how that works. We did a lot of that when I was with the PGA Tour and with sports teams themselves, even professional hockey teams and the PGA Tour themselves that are running billion-dollar budgets. They just don't spend money in SEOs because they can't afford it because it's less than a 1% return on a dollar. So that's problematic from that perspective. Land development, of course, is our key target and area. Red Rock, as we mentioned in the past, has three spectacular elements. Of course, you're on the waterfront. You have gas, which you may not think is a strong thing to have, but being on the island here while we're dealing with propane really stops development, because even a hotel run on propane becomes a far more expensive proposition than tapping into a gas line with hydro and sewer right there at the doorstep. So Jim, I'll let you say a couple things on the economic development front, please.
Sorry, I timed out. My internet went off, so I'm hotspotting with my phone. It works better actually than my internet service here.
Okay, good.
Yeah, as far as economic development goes, the most I think interesting thing is, you know, I always say every place in Ontario north of Point Pelee needs it. It's the biggest advantage going forward is new programming coming out of the funders that can not only mitigate on the COVID, but also I think point funders more towards business opportunities. And I've gone through my whole life trying to encourage people to come and live on the Manitoulin Island, and it was always too far, or you know, they didn't want to come up here and open a business because they're, you know, they like going to the malls and the theaters and things. That's all changed. Just, you know, even before COVID, it was starting. We were doing study work and they were, you know, people, a lot of immigrants that they can't buy a Tim Hortons franchise in Barrie or Perry Sound or someplace, and they're all willing to move north now, and that's the biggest development I've seen regarding what can happen in small rural communities in Northern Ontario now, because there's basically a great amount of people that want to get into small businesses, and it could be as something like kayak rentals and things like that, you know, bikes and where they're able to come into a community like Red Rock and open a small shop, and maybe the wife can get a job at a local place as well. But they don't necessarily need to become millionaires doing it, and that psyche is gone. And it's more of an existence and away from the dangers that lurk in the larger communities. And people want to be able to raise their kids. And for instance, there's basically no property available on the Manitoulin Island now. It's just down to dribs and drabs. Over the course of the last 8-10 months, our real estate prices are up about 20%. And a lot of people are here because they had cottages or vacationed here, and now they're decided they're going to retire early and come here. Of course, COVID helped a lot with that. But there's also, with that, there's young people. Those people, some of their children move, and we're seeing the same things, in fact, all across the North Shore here. And it's very enlightening to me, because you know, gone are the days where everybody had to be in the city, and the rural is really looking to expand. You guys are even in a better position because of your close proximity to Thunder Bay. It's a very big urban center. People will want out of there. They have to pay, you know, 3 times as much for rent as they could probably afford to even build in a place like Red Rock, even to have a cafe. Or so that's the most stimulating thing right now. The government is looking at this very seriously. You're seeing, even I think Albert sent me over a new funding opportunity this afternoon. I had heard about it. It's a recovery program, but there's going to be more and more, especially with NOHFC. Their mandate seems to be shifting from supporting municipalities in reviews and studies and more towards small business. And that is key, because those, you know, in most municipal situations, it's about 80% commercial industrial and 20% residential. I'm sure Red Rock, like a lot of other people's, are almost the flip side of that. The commercial and industrial rates, of course, are higher. So, you know, getting that influx into small communities is really, really critical. That's all I have. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Before we go on to the last couple of pages, just want to see if there's any questions, anything that may not be understood, anything that you wanted to bring up or ask, feel free to do so. If not, I'll just keep going.
No questions? No?
No. Okay, I'll just keep going. So I guess the one thing that we're most excited about is the strategy and data, the full service continuous cycle of economic development. So I think what's one of the most powerful tools for any development opportunity, whether it's a small boutique business, an independent guy that wants a girl or wants to come up and have a little flower shop, candle shop, etc., or a big time hotel and conference convention center, is the ability to provide them with data, why they need to be there, the economic opportunity in the area, and what the town, city, or community is doing on a longer term strategy. So not only what you're doing today, what does this look like in 5 years? What does this look like 10 years? Can I sustain a $40 million investment? Can I sustain a $100,000 investment that I'm making? Because that's critical in all their decisions. And the best thing and the most exciting thing about that is all the data and all the information will rest with you all in Red Rock. You'll then get the ability to assimilate it, build onto it as development increases, alter it or change it on a regular basis to meet your needs and meet the flow of people that are coming and going. So that's the exciting thing about it. There's a lot of opportunity for integration, and once you have this information and have these decks done, whether it's marketing, development, relationship with developers, infrastructure projects, all these things, you're not just getting one person through this process, you're getting 4 of us through Limestone Partners, plus another executive that we have also involved with some other work that we're doing. The other great thing about it is that we're existing right now in lobbying through the provincial and federal governments. So we do see and hear things that are going on in other businesses that we are consulting on that will always be advantageous to Red Rock. And it's one thing to be in a specific area. I mean, I came from the Toronto area last year, moved up to Little Current, and that knowledge base that I had down there has helped enormously up here in the north. And that's really critical for us to be outside Red Rock, but have enough intuition as to we know what may be best and what may be helpful building up the product in there. And the other thing is that just turning the last couple pages here, you know, outside the box and evidence-based strategies are necessary. And what that means is we don't necessarily need to go with the flow of everything else that everyone is doing. It also means that we have to work a little harder to understand what isn't working in the marketplace and how we can adapt it, how we can move it towards COVID or coming out of COVID, especially when we talk about tourism. At the end of the day, if we do our job and we do it well, we're going to end up with a good hotel. We're going to put together a great opportunity for tourism. That tourism, that hotel, convention center matched up with other things will allow people to be employed. That employment will allow taxes to be generated, which will mean that your residents won't see double-digit increases like we've experienced in some of the communities we've worked with. And that new and enthusiasm in the community is really helpful for you also as councillors and mayor and CAO in Albert's case, because it will really allow your residents to see that you are moving forward and that you understand things can change progressively for the good and that are beneficial for everyone else. And whether it's a small coffee shop or a candle shop, like I said, or a florist or a gas station or a hotel, those all have to hire people, those businesses, and that's the exciting thing about it. And we also believe that part of what gets government excited is when they see movement in a positive direction, they typically come back around and say, what else can we do to keep this momentum happening, because we don't want it to stop. So that's critical as well. Our partnership between Jim, Dan, myself, and Andrew, I think I sent Cam some information of us online to check out. We've done a lot of different things in our lifetime. This is not the first gig for us. We've done a lot. And all that information gives you value put. And the funniest thing is I learned most of my development relationships through those guys that were buying corporate suites at the PGA Tour events for $250,000 for 4 days of entertaining clients. So, it's really interesting how sport is this conduit for driving business into other properties, because you get to meet these gentlemen and these CEOs and these owners at a time when they're having a lot of fun, they're enjoying themselves, and they're looking for additional relationships. So I've been fortunate to be able to do that. So our desired outcomes are pretty straightforward. It's integrating value. So updating the economic development strategy, community development profile, marketing campaign development, which integrates all those first two, strategic development identifiers, relations and management, financial and economic analysis and projects. We have probably one of the smartest accountants working on our team. One of my oldest friends, he was with me in California when I was working the PGA Tour. He was able to do things in 1 week that it took literally departments of guys to do in 6 months. So Dan Shepardson, really a pretty intelligent guy, and knows how these things flow, which is critical. And you have that at your disposal as well. Government relations is Jib's bailiwick. He's been dealing in government for a lot of years up here, knows the players intimately well, communicates with them most of the time, both federally and provincially. And for us, it's not about what party you're with, it's what can we do with that party to get done what we need to get done in Red Rock. We work with both sides of the house, whoever may be there. So, and finally, community consultation. As I told Albert a long time ago, it's not our intention to turn Red Rock into a property that people can't live in, because there's been so much development and things happening that nobody can afford to be there anymore. So that's, for us, that's kind of critical that we do meet a gradient line and we just keep moving it up and moving it up so we can sustain the marketplace with bringing people in and building out at the same time. So that's, that's where our head's at. We would be really excited to be able to work on that plan and get it done for you. And if there's any more questions, please feel free to let us know. I'm already 3 minutes over my time. I thought I'd be done by 7:15. I apologize.
Are there any questions?
Yes, Mayor. Tom and Jib, I gather that the initial involvement with Limestone will be essentially what we would think of as a shorter term relationship. I'm wondering about the possibility, and assuming that this is going to be very successful, this initial project, would Limestone be available and willing to look at an expanded form of service?
Well, I think the short answer would be yes, and I'll tell you why we're already thinking about that. I mean, I've already been talking to developers that I personally know. I'm not going to not tell you I have, and I have. One of the reasons we know that this is going to be successful because of those people I'm talking to. What we're talking about is multi-year development plans. I mean, your waterfront itself is going to take a number of years to develop. That's Jib's expertise. Knowing that cruise ships can come in here into Red Rock and enjoy themselves, they are going to need to have services and other amenities that will meet their need. And I think, one thing that I wanted to ensure you, Cam, that we will be able to build off of the efforts and the work that we've done on the first year. And our plan is to really sit down and develop a 5-year strategy and a 10-year strategy so that we're all on the same page. Albert is one of the most enthusiastic guys when it comes to work. Much like Jib and I, he's a little rusty under the saddle some days, but that's only because we want to get things done, and we work well together so far. We've had no issues at all. We enjoy one another and know that we're all on the same page. And I think what we want to do is prove to you what we can do in the upcoming months and year, Cam. Then we can sit down and have this conversation once we have a hotel ready to be built, waterfront ready to develop, an RV park coming in. So that's kind of my thought on that process. And Jib, I'll let you add to the comment there as well.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd get to talk about cruise ships a bit. I think my last comment to you at our last meeting was that we think that Red Rock has huge potential, and it does. I know I told you that I've been through this before, and it doesn't stop once you get it started and moving in the right direction. We call it the moccasin telegraph. The boaters in Chicago know how much the dockage is in Little Current before they leave. Lake Superior is a fantastic place. I just dream of driving a boat across there and going up and exploring all the islands. It has huge potential. The cruise ship business, those guys are always looking for places like Red Rock. That's what the passengers want. They don't want to go to Sault Ste. Marie and jump on the train. They don't want to go to Thunder Bay. They stop off in places like Chicago and Toronto, but that's about it. The rest of the time, they're in Parry Sound. They're in Tobermory. On the U.S. side, they stop at Mackinac Island. Let's face it, that's about as quaint as you can get. There's no cars, but they want remote. And we used to advertise the Little Current didn't have any Tim Hortons or McDonald's. They all thought that was fantastic. But those people are waiting, and they have a lot of money to go on those cruises. They're about $10,000 each per cruise. Over my career in the cruise ship industry, I saw them go from basically one German ship, and they ended up eventually building about 5 more. Some were refits, but they built a couple of brand new ones. They're rather cool. They're Cape Cod style. But those things, they're looking for new destinations, and I'm glad we got to chat about that a little bit. There's it's simple to build a wharf, get funding for it. It fits with infrastructure. A wharf can be used for any number of things while the cruise ship isn't in dock. Those kinds of things are, you guys are sitting on the catbird seat. Like you should be like a squirrel with a nut in your mouth right now. It really is a spectacular area, world-class fishery. I could go on and on. I saw the same thing happen in Killarney. I know I probably mentioned this. They're 2-hour drive from Sudbury. They had, before COVID, they had 60 weddings planned. They've sunk about 30. One guy, Holden is his name, Rhodes, I believe. He was the guy that did the insurance or the legal work for the company Carfast. And when he cashed out, his grandmother was from Killarney, so he wanted to go back and build it up, and he spent $30 million there. Last year, they had 60 weddings planned for the summer. We've already investigated Thunder Bay. Their wedding venues are booked years in advance. So it's nothing to bring people to places like Red Rock. And to hold a wedding, they're encapsulated by the atmosphere, the environment, all that stuff. So it's really, a lot of it is location. You guys have it. That's all I have, Tom.
Jib and Tom, if I may, mostly what the answers you're giving me is what I'm looking for, but I'm wanting to know your infrastructure is essentially based on tourism, that sort of thing. What I'm wanting to know is, will you be capable of expanding that infrastructure to industrial aspects within our community?
Yeah, first of all, industrial development is probably at the lowest point in history. It only really happens where the resources are. You were fortunate to have a mill there. If they were going to build a mill today, they'd build it in the middle of the bush because they don't have to run logs down rivers anymore. But on top of that, if you go over our tourism strategy, it's a 4-season strategy. Tourism isn't the end all and be all of business, but it provides a lot of small businesses that are attracted to it. Industry would be more in the throes of controlling everything in the environment themselves and maybe bringing in subcontractors from time to time. Certainly they pay good wages, but the days of building mills are pretty much slowed down. They've, basically are at about 20% of capacity they had 10 years ago in Ontario. So it's difficult to say what kind of industry, but I can tell you that economic development inspires things like that. And it might not be a pulp or a paper or a sawmill, but just 3 weeks ago, a young fellow from Scotland showed up here and opened up a little bakery. And he's pretty handy with Facebook. And he's sold out everything he can make ever since he opened up. And he goes around in his car and delivers it to your door. $7 for a loaf of sourdough bread that you'd die for. That's the kind of industry, light industry, mom and pop shops. Those are the kinds of things that follow what we're talking about. And they operate year round. And the 4-season tourism opportunity is very, very good there. You're already getting people hiking in the wintertime, winter camping, ice fishing. It goes on and on there. But the door is open, Cam, I would say, but it would be light industry. Even in the town of Gore Bay, about 40 miles from here, they put an incubator in. They have a machine shop operating there. The guy, I believe he makes a small part for one of the automotive manufacturers. And he probably employs 3 or 4 people. But that's the kind of industry you're probably looking to do. What I found, I was in the industrial business. We had a manufacturing plant making steel housing components. And our biggest problem was we couldn't get enough staff. They were all hired at the mines and mills and fly-in camps or fly-in mine places, 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out. So, we couldn't afford to pay what those guys could. But it's a pretty tough thing to put an industry in a place where there isn't a whole bunch of people that need jobs. So it's more of the small, lighter fare.
Okay, thanks Tom and Jib for your presentation. Just everybody knows we've been talking about this for a while, but since the mill has gone down, right, the township has kind of been just waiting to see if something's going to happen, and we're reaching out a little bit here and there. Tourism, we're trying to start it, but don't really know how. Industry, same thing. We're trying to bring people right to the site on the hill, but it's just not going anywhere. So I believe if council decides to hire limestone, right, we're investing in ourselves. So the return on investment is what we believe we're going to get twofold from this. And council is quite, I believe, that the township should really think and promote what we have, because we know what we have. We're just so used to it, right? A lot of people don't even understand. So that's my bit.
Well, and Cam, I will say that, industry can come in a lot of different ways. What it comes down to is a tax base and reoccurring revenue. And if you look at a place like Blue Mountain, for example, Intrawest, that went out and all they simply did was put 2 condominium corporations. From that, 11 years ago, they run a 4-season billion-dollar operation, and they're generating more tax out of Intrawest on that one ski hill on an annual basis than all of Collingwood does in the same period of time. So industry today could be a tourism industry that is fueled 4 seasons out of the year. And what that means is every other service, whether that's a car rental, whether that's tourism or people that are moving in to open up little boutique technology businesses upstairs because they can do it on a Wi-Fi and blast something globally. It is all about generating taxes. It's all about generating employment and generating diversity of employment so that you're not dominantly worried about one industry that may affect the entire town. And that's what our strategy really is all about from that standpoint. And as you see the first documents start rolling down the street, you'll understand that. And we'll be able to keep you updated on that information so that you have input, you totally understand where we're going. And we'll always give you comparisons as to where this is working and why other things may not be, so that you have that information to fuel your drive. But it is all about, I won't say tourism, it is all about generating revenue for the community, for the municipality, and allowing jobs to be created in Red Rock. So.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom and Jib. Gord, are you having some technical issues?
We'll need to look for a new internet provider tomorrow. I don't know what's just keeps freezing. I've shut every device in the house off. I'll rewatch some of this tomorrow. I apologize for this.
That's okay. Okay, so we do have a resolution that I'll bring forward. And it states council accepts the proposal from Limestone Partners with respect to the economic development for the Township of Red Rock. Do I have a mover and seconder?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Oh, okay, you beat me to it.
Okay, moved by Sarah Park, second by Gord Muir. Be it resolved that council accepts the proposal from Limestone Partners with respect to the economic development of the Township of Red Rock. All in favor?
In favor?
Yeah. Okay, well, we look forward to working with you guys.
Thank you. The pleasure is ours, and we'll enjoy hopefully getting to see you all pretty soon once we start working and getting a chance getting back to Red Rock. So thank you again, Albert, for your devotion and dedication to this community. It's definitely rubbed off on us, as you can tell. So thank you all. Pleasure. I'll let you go and take care of your regular business stuff. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
thanks
you
so
guys.
much.
Yeah, thank you very much. And we're really looking forward to this. So it'll be very good, believe me.
And congratulations again, Melissa. Look forward to seeing you too. Bye-bye now.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, minutes of the previous meeting, Monday, January 18th, 2020. Any errors or omissions? So I need a mover and a seconder. Sarah and Gord. Moved by Sarah, seconded by Gord. Be it resolved that the minutes of Monday, January 18th, 2021 regular meeting of council be approved as presented. All in favor? Okay. Okay, bylaws. Right here. Okay, the Corporation of the Township of Red Rock bylaw 2021-1224 being a bylaw to appoint a member of council. Whereas section 263(5)(1) I of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended provides that a municipality may appoint a person to fill the vacancy under subsection 1 or 4. Council approved to fill the vacant seat by way of expression of interest. Now, therefore, the Council of the Township of Red Rock enacts as follows. 1. Melissa McDonald is hereby appointed councillor for the Township of Red Rock for the remaining term of council. 2. This bylaw shall be in force and take effect on the date of final passing. I read a first and second time this first day of February 2021. I need a mover and seconder.
I move.
Okay. Cam and Sarah. Moved by Cam, seconded by Sarah. A bylaw be introduced, being a bylaw to appoint a member of council, Melissa McDonald, be read a first and second time, number 2021-1224. All in favor? The Corporation of Township of Red Rock bylaw 2021-1224, being a bylaw to appoint a member of council, whereas section 263(5)(1)(I) of the Municipal Act 2001, as amended, provides that a municipality may appoint a person to fill a vacancy under subsection 1 or 4. Council approved to fill the vacant seat by way of expression of interest. Now therefore, the council of the Township of Red Rock enacts as follows. 1. Melissa McDonald is hereby appointed councillor to the Township of Red Rock for the remaining term of council. And 2. This bylaw shall be enforced and take effect on date of final passing. Read a third time and finally passed this first day, February 2021, with the seal thereon too. Mover and a seconder. Sarah and Gord. Moved by Sarah, seconded by Gord. Be it resolved that a bylaw be introduced, being a bylaw to appoint a member of council, Melissa McDonald, be read a third time and finally passed, numbered 2021-1224, in the seal of the municipality placed thereon. All in favor?
In favor.
Okay, Melissa, you have the Bible and also the oath of allegiance.
I do. So left hand, right hand. So just read it out.
Yep.
I, Melissa McDonald, being appointed a councillor for the municipality of the Township of Red Rock, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And then it says, I, Melissa McDonald, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially, to do the best of my knowledge and ability, execute the position of councillor to which I have been appointed in this municipality, that I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of any partially or malversation or other undue execution of such office, and that I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct and indirect, as required by and in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. And I make this solemn declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. And then there's just signatures.
Yeah, just sworn before me at the Township of Red Rock in the District of Thunder Bay this first day of February 2001. Commissioner Vos is acknowledging this.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome to the team.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay, I think I lost my spot here. Oh, there we go. Correspondence. Municipal affairs and housing. This is dated January 26, 2021. Today at the Roma conference, I announced the launch of the second intake under the Municipal Modernization Program. Modern, efficient municipal services and that are financially sustainable and more important than ever in light of COVID-19 pandemic. Even as municipalities continue to face challenges, there are also opportunities to transform services and stimulate new ways of doing business. The second intake will now allow municipalities to benefit from provincial funding to conduct third-party reviews, as well as to implement projects to increase efficiency and effectiveness and low cost in the longer term. I also want to encourage you to work with your neighboring municipalities to find innovative joint projects that can benefit each of you. The government is excited to learn about your project applications that support the following priorities: digital modernization, service integration, streamlined development proposals, and shared services, alternative delivery models. So the second stream is opened until March 15th, 2021. And this is from Minister Stephen Clark. And we are working on this. Okay. So the second one, we have municipal Ministry of Heritage, Sports, Culture, Tourism and Culture Industries. So this is from Honorable Lisa McLeod. Last Friday, when was this? Again, January 26th. So last Friday, our Stay Home On campaign launched, and our preliminary results indicate that a hashtag was shared over 20.9 million times on Twitter and Instagram, and there were over 4.9 million views on TikTok. It's been a long road, and I know many of you still are struggling. In order to support you, I'm hosting 13 regional webinars that outline supports offered by our government, including small business support grants up to $20,000, property tax and energy bill rebates, Main Street relief grant for PPE support up to $1,000, not-for-profit support for Ontario Trillium Foundation, support for arts organizations, additional 25 million in COVID-19 supports beyond that, and then it gives a whole bunch of dates. So I believe this is on the website as well, right, Albert? Yeah, okay.
Is it shared on our Facebook page?
I don't really know, Gord. I just said to have it posted, so I'm assuming it has been.
Okay, yeah, just if we could.
We can get that.
Perfect.
And also in council's package was a welcoming letter from Melissa McDonald, or Melissa McDonald, just talks about herself and her accomplishments and how she's looking forward to working with council and the township. So I believe that's also on the website, so people can access it there. So reports from municipal officers. We have Albert.
Thank you. Had a discussion with Bruce O'Hare from Lakeshore Excursions. Attaches a draft technical document that they are working on as part of an application to attract funding from FedNor for updated soundings in the Northern Ontario Great Lakes ports. As you know, Red Rock is included to be carried out by the Canadian Hydrographic Society. Some of the existing sounding data available to marinas today is over 100 years old, so there's definitely a need. And this draft report is confidential at this time because they haven't presented it to FedNor, but they wanted to share it with some of the stakeholders to get some feedback. We have started to update our website again. Our service provider will be assisting to streamline and make the navigation more easier and friendly. We have received a grant up to $5,000 in late 2020 from Northwestern Ontario Innovation Center, and we have to have this completed by March 31st, 2021. So we're working towards that. As you know, the design and installation of the new SCADA system for the water plant is being developed by Hatch, and the estimate of $300,000 for this initiative is being funded with the present allocation of both levels of government in our new wastewater plant. And basically, we're looking at entering into agreement to look at design and costing of it, which is part that will be covered by this wastewater provincial grant. So we're working, we just got that today. Hatch will be taking lead, and the reason why Hatch, the consulting office, will be taking lead is because it has to be the original contractors within the stream of the construction, and they are. So if we did if we had to go a different route, it probably wouldn't have been approved because it would have to be resubmitted for approval. So we're staying within the guidelines. As you know, Unifor and the Township of Red Rock has ratified the 4-year collective agreement. Both SEIU and Unifor bargaining unit contracts are completed now. Cascade has submitted a tentative agreement on the transfer of certain parcels of land to the Township of Red Rock. It's been outstanding since 2017. We finally got a legal document back from their lawyer, and we just reviewed it in regards to land transfer. There's a few questions and some tentative parcels of land identified, and we have to have some consultation prior to acceptance. Wendy Ferris of Castle Home Realty of Thunder Bay and our planner in consultation with the Township and legal are in the process of drafting up a purchase agreement for the said property. There will be caveats identified to ensure compliance, timeframes, etc., but most importantly, to allow the developer to begin the design, review, and approval from the applicable agencies and the township on subdivision plan. Township is reviewing the process of land sales as it pertains to the municipal act at this time. We are developing actually procurement policy, not a procurement policy, but a land sale policy, I'm sorry, municipal land sale policy, as we do not have one, and we should have one. So we're looking at finalizing that, and we'll be bringing that forth to council sometime in February for approval. I would like to welcome Ms. Cindy Brandt, the replacement for our municipal secretary, Lisa Palua. She started today, and she's been very helpful, so it was kind of nice to have some great conversations. We attended the virtual Roma conference, the mayor and I, last week, and met with two ministries, Energy, Northern Development Mines, and Culture, Tourism, Rec, and Sport. We had a good conversation, and they're supposed to get back to us in regards to some funding initiatives that we requested. We only had 15 minutes, so they can't promise it. They still have to dialogue with us and get some more data. The ministry staff are working collectively and diligently on the finalization of our new system, data entry, and I thank them for their dedicated efforts. 2021 budget preparation underway, and hopefully after department meetings, a draft will be presented to council for review prior to March 1st, 2021. And next week we'll be starting our pre-audit with BDO for 2020. We still don't have any indication or approval on our grants in regards to our asset management. I'm told now it's 3 weeks and we should know something on level 2 and 3. RV business study and strategic plan submission, we have not got any word. And we're working, we are waiting for the formal communications on the approval of the rec center enhancement in Brompton, Newton Roads, Stadler, water, sewer, road infrastructure upgrades. Just a reminder that the 2021 interim tax bill will be sent out in February with a due date of March 25th, 2021. Future water and tax bills will also be made available to be sent out via email for those who are interested. Residents can contact the municipal office, and this is from the last report, but it's good as a reminder for everyone. Completed a new job description for the Director of Operations, Mr. Blair Westman, and will be moved into this role shortly on the have an Aqua come in to manage and operate the water wastewater facility. So I'm just finalizing that. As we all know, Mr. Eben, which is one of the operators at the water wastewater plant, has been advised of his transfer to a Group 3 equipment operator, Public Works, as of March 1st. Management operations of both facilities will be provided by Aqua, and you had the costing couple of council meetings before. This is kind of good because, for a simple fact, we do have trouble with operators in the summertime because of the vacations and limited staff that we have. So that actually will be kind of a good resource for us. We'll be updating internal policies shortly. We've done a few. Job descriptions have all mostly been done. Have been receiving a lot of ministry reports to complete in relation to COVID-19 in order that the province can experience and identify real life data. It's difficult to prioritize some of this stuff compared to some of the priorities that we got. We'll do our best. And thanks to Shelley, the Township administration has submitted for 8 positions with the Student Canada Summer Jobs. Deadline was January 27th. Superior Country has also submitted 1 application for Red Rock to promote tourism in the Interpretive Center. The Ontario Summer Jobs at this time has been delayed, so we've got no word on that yet. And the best way to predict the future is to create it, as we talk tonight in economic development. Thank you.
Are there any questions on Albert's report? No, okay. So again, we're waiting for final approval or, you know, the 2 big grants that we're waiting for, which
That's
I'm
correct.
hoping it's going to be soon.
Formal
Okay.
communication. Yes, formal communication.
Yeah. Okay, payment vouchers. I need a mover and a seconder.
I move.
Gord and Sarah, moved by, oh, sorry, that's Cam. Moved by Cam, seconded by Sarah. Be it resolved that the following payments be approved. $287,546.90. All in favor?
In favor.
Spot. Oh, I'm getting these papers mixed up. Okay, unfinished business. We have the National Wall of Remembrance. So last meeting, we asked for it to be deferred so we can get more information on the pricing. So we've been given the pricing and we're open for discussion. We can either pass a resolution and support it, or we can forego it for the year and try again next year.
Just so you know, I did approach the Legion because of COVID-19 and them being shut down. They were hoping that we would support this. However, they didn't have the funds. They didn't feel that they would have the funds to feel comfortable giving. So that's why you asked for a 1/8 ad, what the cost was compared to last year, which was a larger ad. I think it was $699. So for 1/8 page ad is $399. You add the taxes, $450.87. So just so council's all aware.
Right.
That seems reasonable to me, and I'd like to go forward with it.
Yeah, I'm in agreement as well. So I
agree
believe
too.
it's important.
I think it's the least we can do since the Legion isn't in that position this year, right? So they're always pretty good to the community, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I
sure.
need a mover and a seconder.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Melissa and Sarah. Okay, moved by Melissa, second by Sarah. Be it resolved that council approve the cost of a 1/8 page advertisement in the amount of $450.87 in support of the National Wall of Remembrance magazine in support of the Red Rock Legion. All in favor? Okay, new business, establishment of a community safety committee. Albert.
I had brought this, sorry,
Go ahead.
I had brought this subject up to Albert back a little while ago, and essentially what it does is it ties in with what I'm talking with about limestone, where we've got an increased potential of resources and facilities and development in our community. And I was hoping we would be able to establish a community safety committee that would engender a sense of safety, wellness, progressiveness. And it follows very much on the theory of the broken window theory. It would initially start off with a very generalized approach, but I see it as a possibility of having multi prongs in it. I've spoken with Ontario Provincial Police at this point, and they are really excited about the idea of working with us in developing a strategy that would be on a long-term basis, starting small, such as things as traffic control, patrols within our community, etc. So if that was approved by council, I would like to get that started and work on it.
So this will be a committee that's going to advise on that community safety plan and put it in place. So it would be a collaboration between the community and OPP. Is this the one, or is this more of the not the block parent thing we were looking at, but the community watch?
I think it would encompass everything when you look at
Everything?
a community
Yeah.
strategic plan.
Yes.
You'll be looking at probably programs that have already been out there in regards to citizens on patrol,
Yeah.
nickname cops, you know, neighborhood watch, you know, there'll be different types.
Yeah, I'm up for anything that's going to keep the community as safe as possible. So you can count me in for this initiative for sure.
Thank you.
I think the mayor, were you thinking of something along the same lines?
No, that's fine. It's just, I guess we'll just advertise, right? And see if we get anybody, and we'll go from there. We'll need a mission statement and all that, what the purpose of the committee is, and go from there. Okay, I need a mover and a seconder.
I'll move it.
A second.
Moved by Melissa, seconded by Cam. Be it resolved that council support the establishment of a community safety committee to prepare and adopt a community safety and well-being plan. All in favor? Okay, so next we have Ontario Fire College provincial training. So what we have here is a resolution. I'm going to read through it. So this was supplied to us by, I'm sorry, I forget the township that originally sent this.
It was a township down in
It was
southern
Augusta, I
Ontario.
believe it was Township of
Augusta,
Augusta.
Okay. So this is all in relation to them closing the Ontario Fire College in Gravenhurst, correct? Yeah, okay. So do I read the resolution first and then call for a mover and seconder, or?
You might want to debate it first, see if you want to even go forward with it.
Okay. Everybody has the resolution. You've read through it. How do you guys feel?
Well, I mean, if people are in favor, I know the college, like growing up in Gravenhurst, that it was old when I was a kid, and I know it's probably operational wise. It is sitting on a big piece of the lake right there. So I don't know if the township of Gravenhurst has plans for that property. I do know there is other training avenues they were looking at doing in virtual, and I think our hub up here is Dryden for training. Wouldn't it be? We would work closer with the city of Thunder Bay and Dryden.
I think that your training is done at the FireCon in Thunder Bay every year.
FireCon at Thunder Bay.
Yeah.
So this resolution is just to support the Township of Augusta in the decision for the province of Ontario to reverse their decision and closing the fire college. So either we want to support them or not. So I don't see there any problem with, with supporting them. I think it's already a foregone deal, but I mean, it's the least we can do for them.
Have we contacted anyone from our fire department to see what their feelings on the situation, if they have any information?
We did contact the fire chief, Chief Petrie, and he was of the opinion that he supports that the college not be closed. Even though that we do have FireCon up here in northwestern Ontario, some of the volunteer fire departments don't have that option down in southern Ontario, and that's why they go to the Ontario Fire College, because it's closer. What will probably happen here in the future is that the office of the fire marshal, with all due respect, is getting out of direct service. They have been for years, and you're going to be looking at community colleges like what they've done out west in regards to promoting some of these initiatives. The only problem with that is it's going to cost more now for smaller departments to train their firefighters. And if they put basic requirements to NFPA standards, then they have to be tested. They have to quantify to competencies, and that's going to create some more issues and some more dollars. So, like, I agree with the mayor. This is probably a foregone conclusion, but some departments down there can see the value of trying to keep it open. It'll still maintain employment, help the economy. So that was the reason why we put it forth here, because the fire chief thought it would be supporting his colleagues in Southern Ontario. And I appreciate that, and I accept it, and I support it as well as a CAO.
Yeah, well then, if that's a recommendation from the chief, then I'll support it as well.
I will as well.
So is it just like a letter of support?
Yeah, so I'll read through it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so you have a copy of it. So it's just that's all it is. It's a letter of support. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I need a mover and a seconder.
I'll move it.
Sarah and Gord.
I second. Oops, sorry.
Okay, moved by Sarah, seconded by Gord. Be it resolved that whereas the Ontario Fire College has been in existence since 1949, and whereas the Ontario Fire College has built a reputation of integrity, credibility, and reliability in providing some of the best training to our fire services within the province of Ontario, and whereas the Ontario Fire College has been used to train and certify both volunteer, part-time, and career firefighters throughout Ontario, and whereas the Ontario Fire College gives Ontario firefighters another option other than regional training centers to obtain National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, certification, and whereas the Ontario Fire College is the most cost-effective method to certify firefighters to the NFPA standards in Ontario, and whereas the Ontario government enacted and revoked Ontario Regulation 379-18 firefighter certification in 2018, and whereas when the Ontario government revoked Ontario Regulation 379/18 firefighter certification, it was made known by the Office of the Solicitor General that the Act would be amended and brought back in the future, and therefore be it resolved that the Township of Red Rock request that the Province of Ontario reverse their decision to close the Ontario Fire College, as the OFC is one of the best and most cost-effective methods for municipalities to train their firefighters, which assists us in protecting our residents. And be it further resolved that this resolution be forwarded to the Honorable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, the Honorable Sylvia Jones, Ontario Solicitor General, and Honorable Steve Clark, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, and Ontario Fire Marshal John Pegg, and all municipalities within the province of Ontario. All in favor? Okay, so additions that we added to new business was EMS. So I've been getting a lot of questions about EMS and what's been going on with the strategic plan. So it's a bit difficult for me to discuss it because I am employed as a full-time paramedic, so there is a conflict of interest. This year I will be working 30 years as a paramedic in this community. So it's not like I'm in any position to lose my job, but it does affect many people. So I just want everyone to know that we are meeting with Quad Council, so Nipigon, Dorian, and Red Rock Indian Band on Thursday, and we're going to discuss moving forward how we can collectively approach City Council and give our viewpoints. So privately, we have all sent in letters to the City of Thunder Bay, but we're going to do something a little more proactive on behalf of the communities. We will also, we also have Shunya coming to attend this meeting. Because if people aren't aware, Shunya does actually respond to Red Rock and Nipigon, Dorian, Herkett, for EMS calls when Nipigon and Red Rock are busy. So that is on the table and we are looking into it. So you might not hear us talking about it, but we are behind the scenes working on it. Okay, any comments or questions? No?
Thank you.
And the Reopening Ontario Act. So I know we're all sick of COVID. We're all doing our best. And I just want people to know that there have been people in the community. So when I'm saying community, it's Red Rock, Nipigon, Dorian, Herkett that have been charged the $880 for breaking, the rules. So you're out after 8 p.m. All, whatever the rules, however you're reading it, it's for real. People are being charged around here. So it's really up to you if you want to break those rules and spend the $880, but really just be home. You don't need to travel. It's not essential. When you're caught in your snow machines or you're doing whatever, it's just not worth it. So we just like to remind everyone in Red Rock that you're doing a great job. We appreciate that. We don't have any active cases. And if we did, we would fully support anybody who if they had it. And we're just going to go from there. So again, wear your masks, right? Double up if you want, hand sanitize, stay in your bubbles, and That's all we can do. That's my bit. Anybody else? No? Okay. So that's it for the meeting. So we can adjourn. What time is it? It is 8:04. So I need a mover and a seconder. Gord and Sarah. Okay, moved by Gord, seconded by Sarah. Be resolved that cancel. How am I supposed to write this out? I don't have one written out for me.
We don't?
Cancel adjourn.
You just say, yeah.
Cancel adjourn.
Be resolved that, yeah, Councillor.
Be it resolved that council adjourn the meeting at 8:05.
That's correct.
All in favor? Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Have a great night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Welcome
Night
again,
now.
Melissa.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Melissa.
Thanks. Hi, Cindy.